Welcome to the world of Rampage, Mushroom Kingdom. My name is Lord Coucha, and I'll be serving as your tour guide through this doomed world. Be advised, this is not a walkthrough. This is a breakdown and exploration of the lore and locations tucked away within the Mushroom Kingdom, as well as a chronicling of Mario and Company's adventure. So, sit back and enjoy the ride as we witness the world as it was before the Great Rampage. First up on our tour is a continent not too far from home, Goomba Land. This world is home to, you guessed it, the Goomba clan. A simple but pragmatic people, the Goombas set upon a world all of their own, devoid of larger creatures and other dangers that could threaten or step on them. You can often hear the younglings playing out in the sprawling fields during the warm summer days. There is peace and safety here, and that's just how the Goombas like it. Ah! Our heroes have finally arrived. It appears Mario called upon his brother Luigi and beloved friends Toad and Toadette to help join him on his quest. The more the merrier, I say. This is it, our first target. I expected this place would be a bit more developed. I don't know why we're even wasting our time here on Goombas. Let's knock on someone that matters. When I called for Scorched Earth, I didn't call for Scorched Earth minus Goomba Land. We destroy everything, no matter how insignificant. Yeah, let's raise hell! Well put, Toadette. Let's raise hell indeed. To begin the Rampage/World Tour, the nearest point of interest is a little settlement known as Goomba Village. It's a newer development on the western side of the continent. The construction is basic and sparse, but the village has a certain homely charm about it. Takes you back to simpler times. Let's see what people mean when they refer to the warmth of Goomba hospitality. Great. Looks like we'll be smashing mounds of dirt today. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Mario, but I feel kinda bad punching down so low. Never forget what they've done to us. They reap what they sow. Yahoo! Goomba Village is evenly divided into a west side and an east side. Both sides are similar in layout, with the east side being slightly further into development. Cleaving the village in two at its center is Goomba Hill. And sitting atop Goomba Hill is the fanciest house in town with a great view of both sides of the village. The mayor lives here. To be honest, there wasn't a whole lot going on here before Mario and Company showed up, and now there's even less to talk about. So, let's move along to our next destination. Goomba Village is flanked by mountains and the sea, so the only direction for Mario and friends to go is up. Climb high enough, and the environment will turn arid and the earth will become craggy, splitting into large columns of rocks standing like steadfast giants among the brave and adventurous Goombas that have carved a home out of this place. And this place is known as Goomba Highlands. Well, that was easy. They didn't even put up a fight. I think one of them tried to reach out to me, but it didn't have arms. Ha! Okie dokie. Looks like we found another settlement. Goombas living up this high? They have a death wish or something? The higher the climb, the farther the fall. Goomba Highlands is a small civilization tucked away among the pillars and mountains of the region. The dwellings here are impressively carved into the surrounding land formations around them. Well, impressive for Goombas, I suppose. Sadly, tourism here is a mixed bag. Due to the steep drop-offs and mortal heights, Goomba Highlands is deemed too dangerous for most tour companies to travel to due to the outrageous liability insurance and other legal woes. You can thank the Koopa Senate for that one. Fortunately, the people of the Highlands are welcoming to all visitors, and lucky are the few that make it. Ironically, the most breathtaking views can actually be found at the bottom of the Highlands looking up at the majestic layers of multicolored earth stretching high above. It's a natural wonder. But, like the people of the Highlands, I think our time here is about up. let's travel back down to the lowlands, shall we? Climbing back down from the steep rockiness above, Mario and friends find themselves quickly transitioning from arid to humid. When the ground starts becoming green, it becomes green fast. As far as the eye can see are trees, water, vines, and a whole lot of nature. This swampy region is known as Galoomba Bayou. From way too dry to way too wet, I wish this place would make up its mind. Everything about this godforsaken continent has been awful so far, and it looks like it's only getting worse. Don't like water? No, Galoombas could be here. I've never been in this bayou before, Toad said as the $9 mushroom wine circulated through his powerful, thick veins. I'm certain there are. Good. At least this won't be boring. Known as the bottomless Innowoods in Goomba folklore, Galoomba Bayou is actually much less scary than the stories may lend one to believe. Indeed, the Galoomba tribe may have segregated themselves to the wetlands here because they were the only ones that could thrive in such an inhospitable place. Regardless, the Galoomba tribe have built living spaces out of the myriad trees abound in the eternally canopied bayou. They've really made quite a sturdy, stilted village here, of all places. Okay, I take it back. That place was awesome. Told you it wouldn't be boring. Galoombas may not do much, but they low-key know the best places to have fun. I wish I could rewind time and do that again. Hey Mario, you still got that old time machine lying around back at home? Mamma mia. The only thing now separating Mario and gang from Goomba Land's capital city is another range of mountains and hills. Luckily, they won't have to climb over this time, as there exists a convenient entrance to a subterranean network of caves that leads to the other side. And within the depths of these tunnels resides the miners who carved it all out, and they creatively call this place Goomba Caverns. This place looks like it might be dangerous. It's only Goombas, Weege. Nothing to worry about. What about the bottomless pits? Don't fall down, brother. Eyes ahead. Typical Goomba workmanship. They couldn't even carve a proper floor. I'll be leaving a bad review. This is it. After finding a safe path to the other side of the caverns, and knocking out a few miners along the way, Team Mario once again get to enjoy sunlight and fresh air. That place smelled like Goomba farts. It reeked. I kept trying to hold my breath, but I couldn't last the whole time. What do they eat in there? Farts? What did they eat, you mean? Here we are, at the border of Goomba City, the capital of Goomba Land, and home to a whopping population reaching into the hundreds. Goombas from all the world over call this place home. Many make yearly pilgrimages here to visit family and to honor the city that shines as a beacon for Goombas everywhere. It took many generations to build the burg up to its status as a glorious metropolis. Thus, protection is in order. The city was built on the edge of a great ravine, and across this gorge spans a wall. This wall has two purposes: to defend the city from outsiders, and to act as a bridge for those permitted through the always locked doors on either side. Finally, semblance of an actual civilization. Not bad. Looks like they even have some defenses set up this time. Door's locked. Looks like we ain't getting through so easily. They don't call me Jumpman for nothing. After crossing the bridge wall thing, one will finally witness the full grandeur of Goomba City. Booming economy alluring Goomba entrepreneurs from all over. Infrastructure like no Goomba has ever had the luxury of enjoying in the past, and skyscraping buildings that defy the gods themselves. The heart and passion of the Goomba people shines in every brick you find here. At the back end of the city is a strange geological formation known as Goomba Butte. That's but with an E. This wide pillar of land extends straight up on every side and even overshadows the buildings below. Set upon the top of the monument is what is known locally as the crown of the city, due to the formation appearing somewhat like a literal crown peeking above the city skyline. Construction within the crown is purely residential. It's where all of the hard-working Goombas working in the city below retire in safety to spend the night. There are two pipe systems at the base of Goomba Butte, a yellow pipe that leads straight up to the crown, and a blue pipe that cuts through the butte, allowing expedient access to the other side. That about does it for points of interest in Goomba City. I certainly hope you took some nice pictures while we were here. There's not much left to photograph now. C'est la vie. And with the capital city out of the way, we now conclude our tour through Goomba Land. Maybe they should rename it to Goomba Less Land. Or just Land. Or, more realistically, for rent. In all seriousness, Koopa Land is calling, and Mario and company have a Continental flight to catch if they want to keep this party rolling. See you on the other side. Wow, there's so much smoke, the clouds are starting to turn black. Good. Cast a permanent shadow over this wasteland. I do worry that we may have missed some. If they are strong, then let them live. I believe the Continental flight line is up ahead. The platforms better work or I'm suing. What if they break? Imagine the fall! At least you'd be landing in water. At terminal velocity? If it makes you feel any better, the flight lines are maintained by Mushroom Kingdom taxpayer money. Nothing but quality Toad workmanship from here to Koopa Land. We've made it! I hope you enjoyed your travel over the ocean from one continent to another. We now find ourselves at the western edge of Koopa Land, which is, as you may have guessed, home to the Koopa Troopa clan. Now, Koopas are quite a bit more advanced than Goombas, and the complexity of their world shows it. Additionally, there is greater variety in the different Koopa races versus the Goomba, so expect to see a number of new faces here. One thing not to expect? Goombas. It's not so much that they're not allowed to be here, but when the Goomba clan splintered off and founded Goomba Land, the Koopa clan demanded that they have their own world too. Things got a little messy for a while, but we're not here to discuss politics. We're here to enjoy the final moments of the land of the Koopas. For those paying attention, you may see a trend forming here. Yes, like the Goombas, the Koopas also have a fringe village on the edge of their continent. Simplicity is once again the overlying motif in the settlement. However, unlike Goomba Village, Koopa Village demonstrates a bit more complexity in its design, if only by a bit. Towards the east side of the village is the BBC headquarters. That was a big deal when they got that in there. New continent, new civilizations to pay their due. By the looks of things, they haven't heard what happened in Goomba Land. Maybe they did, but they just don't care. Ha! Tragically, that may actually be true. I think I sense a two-shroom coming on. I'm gonna squat till I flash. Nice! Squat and go. Shells will be flying. En masse. The following portion of our tour is sponsored by Mushtop Enterprises, Inc. Koopa Village's most popular couples attraction is a rustic resort by the name of Mushtop Suites. For 200 coins per night, you can enjoy a stay in an efficient-sized room large enough for an intimate couple. The rooms rest upon giant mushroom tops. Try walking outside barefoot, you'll love it, and overlook the village below. The only argument here is whether the sunrises are better or the sunsets. Book your room today to find out. Goombas need not apply. Mario and the gang had leveled the village and reached its far side not a moment too soon before their latest mutation had worn off. No worries though, these things come and go. What's up with that? When traveling around, it's considered best practice to leave no trace. I think we've been doing a great job at that so far. How do you say? I think our travels have been pretty messy so far. We're doing a great job at leaving no trace of their existence. Got him, Toadette! Oh my god! Just beyond the far reaches of Koopa Village lies an orchestrated pile of rocks, pipes, and vines. These pipes and vines reach straight up into the heavens, ending who knows where. I'll tell you where. It's a swanky estate known as Koopa Luxury Heights. And when they call it luxury, they're really underselling it. It should be luxury with 3 X's in it, because that's just how fancy the place is. So here's the deal. You don't live here if you don't have some serious money. Like, enough gold coins to puncture right through the clouds that make up your floor. And yes, I said clouds. Koopa Luxury Heights is a golden brick complex built upon enchanted clouds high in the sky. They say on clear days you can see all the way to Land's End from up here. Magnificent. Locals in this region consist of the obscenely wealthy, the positively posh, the fabulously famous, and the most politically influential Koopas in the entire Mushroom Kingdom. Commoners are barred from setting foot in this place without proper written permission, lest they receive a swift visitation from the Paratroopa Patrol, always on watch for those who don't belong. Due to this mandate, tours are not allowed here, but it appears Team Mario failed to read the signage upon entry. Whoa, people actually live up here? Not people, yuppies. I don't like the way they're looking at me. Eat the rich! After ascending layer upon endless layers of cleanly landscaped clouds, the gang finally reaches the pinnacle of Koopa Luxury Heights. And here we find the Jewel in the Sky, or the Second Sun. Formerly known as Koopa Citadel, this masterfully crafted miniature castle reflects so much light that it is sometimes confused as the sun from people living down on the surface below. Its other claim to fame is its mind-boggling hanging basements, which actually extend below the cloud surface on which the citadel stands. All told, Koopa Citadel is a must-see for anyone lucky enough to find themselves, legally, in Koopa Luxury Heights. It seems those funny looks Mario was getting earlier have faded. Maybe the resident Koopas have warmed up to him. Perhaps it was all of the friction burns. In the words of the famed scientist Mr. Isaac Newton, what comes up must come down. After the group trashes Koopa Citadel, they take the nearby set of pipes back down to the other side of the mound of rocks, vines, and pipes they visited earlier. Ahead from here is a steep drop-off that flows into the maw of the earth known as Hammer Valley. Local legends say it's named as such because it's a valley, and it's inhabited primarily by Hammer Bros. History books are pretty thin on this place. Anyway, while Koopa Luxury Heights was under attack, some reasonably panicked politicians sent out a distress signal alerting Koopa Land of their dire situation. Now, Koopas are known to band together, even more than Goombas do, and that goes double when you mess with their VIPs of society. Once the Hammer Bro Armada heard news of Koopa Luxury Heights' devastation, they quickly scrambled to meet Mario and friends as they approached Hammer Valley. I think it's going to be a long night for our heroes. Are you kidding me? These savages are throwing hammers at us? I have a headache just thinking about it. Look how the drones come to defend the queen when she's under attack. Moths to a flame. Fools! Oof. Had I known we were throwing a hammer party, I would have brought my own. Mario, I'm feeling bloated.
Think it was the Koopasta we had in the heights?
Lakitu bombers incoming. Let's jet! After narrowly avoiding to the face what was technically way less than half of the available hammers raining from above, Mario and team reached the other side of the devilish Hammer Valley. What the heck, man? How do they even have that many hammers on them? Never underestimate a hammer, bro. Even the young ones. Everywhere I look, I still see hammers. This guy's gone full-blown PTSD. We need to get him out of here. Over there, a cave entrance ahead. Looks quiet. Let's head that way. Just beyond the far lip of Hammer Valley lies the entrance to Koopa Crypt, the final resting place for Koopakin that have run out of continues. Koopist clergy purports that individuals laid to rest in this sacred space would get to enjoy eternal life. Turns out they were right, but not the way they expected. Koopas laid here do indeed live forever, but in the form of dry bones. When the body is there, but the mind is gone, you've got yourself a dry bones. Don't cry for dry bones when you vaporize their skeletons, for they are already dead. Mario, I don't like the way this place looks. Maybe we should go back outside. Oh, you want more hammers? Sure, let's turn around. Ma! Stuck between raining iron and the land of the dead? Just my day. Looks like I should have brought my hammer, and you should have brought your poltergust. Wait, there's ghosts here too? Koopa Crypt is a vast complex of chambers, graves, and bottomless pitfalls. It appears to be carved by hand beneath the small mountain that rests above it. But by who? No one knows. So mysterious is the crypt that its true depths have yet to be charted. Some say that the plunges go all the way down to the underwear itself. Brave few have taken the dive to find out, but none have returned to tell the tale. Tourism at the Koopa Crypt is a bit anemic. While carefully guided tours have been established by the Koopa Land Council, not many take up the offer, often preferring to visit more popular locations such as Koopa City. And what a shame. In all its dreary scenery and excess of death, there's actually quite a subdued beauty to the crypts. The entrance from the world outside puts you immediately into the silent vestibule, where visiting patrons are blessed with a shower of holy stars. This fills the recipient with light and power. Koopist clergy propose that this energy is pure distilled life force rising from the spirits below. Spooky. After passing through the vestibule, patrons now find themselves standing before a great chamber, unfathomably large with air still as ice. Pass carefully and respectfully through the cemetery past the rows of unmarked graves, treacherous tombs, and loose-cannon thwomps that are all too willing to crush unsuspecting visitors. See, that wasn't so bad. We were invincible the whole time. I somehow didn't feel so invincible. Look, a chapel up ahead, over the bridge. How many more rotten cadavers do we gotta send back to the underwear? At the end of the cemetery stands the mausoleum. Disputed by the Koopist clergy, this large structure was either used as a house of worship or a house of condemnation. Either way, the interior appears to be beautifully furnished and crafted by artisans' hands. However, the door leading inside was sealed shut some unknown years ago, so tourists will simply have to settle for looking through the ornate stained glass windows. Still, the Koopa Crypt Mausoleum is considered one of the best-kept secrets in Koopa Land. Mama friggin' Mia! That giant thwomp almost killed us! Screw that thwomp! Do you see the size of the bones in that pit? That carrion turtle must have been huge! There appears to be a pipe below the yonder heap of bones. Is there more here? Only one way to find out. Or there's another way to find out. We can just take this back door here. Mario! Our tour here hasn't ended just yet. Tales from surviving explorers speak of an endless chamber of catacombs lost deep below the crypt. These catacombs consist of pillars of fashioned stone reaching down farther than any candle can light. After an expedition by the famed explorer Captain Toad, he described that you could drop a rock down into the abyss and never hear it hit the ground. Upon the aforementioned pillars are carved horizontal slots large enough to house Koopa deceased, many of which are filled with even more dry bones. I can't remember what I lost count of first, the number of D-bones or the number of times I soiled my pants, quoth the intrepid Captain Toad. It goes deeper still. It actually smells like death here, and that's not even a dig at the stinking Koopas. Mario, I'm looking down. Don't. But everywhere is down. How far down do you think it goes? I can see the wandering eyes of boneheads everywhere. We clean up what we can, then we move on. Same plan as always. Poor Luigi. He'll probably be having nightmares over this for years to come. On the bright side, he's also killed a lot of people on this journey, so that may help keep him up at night to avoid the nightmares. I think that's called homeopathic medicine. The gang emerged from the back end of the crypt looking like Koopezus walking out of his tomb. Oh god, life! I thought I'd never return! Quit being a puss-puss. That place freaking ruled. Look, I grabbed one of their ribs on the way out. It's my souvenir. Put that back, you'll curse us. No way, puss-puss. I'm gonna use this as a sick boomerang when we get into Koopa City. You're sick! Speaking of which, Koopa City is up ahead. Bring your A-game. They know we're coming. How could we conclude our tour of Koopa Land without visiting its famous capital, succinctly dubbed Koopa City? The heart of Koopa Land, located on the northeastern corner of the continent, this city thrives as the epicenter of entertainment, business, and arts in the whole Mushroom Kingdom. It's the place young, aspiring Koopas move to with stars in their eyes, seeking fame, wealth, and glory. But don't think only Koopa Troopas are eligible to these opportunities, for this city is highly welcoming to all blood relatives of the Koopa. It is not uncommon to spot the occasional Hammer Bro, Spiny, or even Boom Boom. A distant relative, but it still counts. Not unlike Goomba City, Koopa City has a canyon severing the metropolis from the traversable mainland. Fun fact, there never used to be such a worldly fracture in this location. You see, when the Goombas founded Goomba City over in Goomba Land, they strategically built their capital on the far side of a naturally occurring ravine. Inspired by this tactic, the Koopa Council of Koopa City mandated a canyon be dug in front of the city reaching all the way to the ocean. And make it bigger than theirs, damn it! We will not be outdone by Goombas. Fortunately for visitors, tourists, and commuters alike, spanning the man-made canyon is a jaw-dropping, flat-top bridge sturdy and wide enough to accommodate traffic during even the most demanding times of the day. An engineering marvel, the bridge to the best city in the Mushroom Kingdom serves as a symbol of Koopa City's strength and security. Looking to pop the big question? Over 40 Koopa couples get engaged on the bridge every year. While we're here, make sure to buy your model bridge replica in the gift store before there's no more gift store. Or bridge. Cool! They have a huge bridge leading into the city. It's quiet. Too quiet. Hey guys, heads up. There's a bullet bill heading our way. Is it tossing rocks? That's not a bullet bill. That's a bonsai bill. And it's taking out the bridge. Get back! Retreat! Well, that was something. It seems the Koopa Council was indeed prepared for Mario's great Rampage, and it appears they felt the need to make the tough choice by taking out their own beloved bridge. You have to give the Council credit, though. Through their great sacrifice, they have prevented Mario and company from entering their sacred city, saving their people and preserving their way of life. Well, that was close. I can't believe they took out their own bridge. Bastards! What now, big bro? Hey, this hut says utility zone access. Maybe there's another way into the city. Say no more. If there's one skeleton down there, I'm out. Like any proper megalopolis, there exists a series of corridors, pipes, shafts, and ducts located beneath the foundations of the city itself. Diligent technicians labor day in and day out in these dingy tunnels, making sure everything above is working as it should without so much as a hiccup. Fortunately for our heroes, these service passageways serve as a perfect way to sneak into Koopa City with no one expecting what was about to happen. Indeed, the citizens didn't seem to display any sense of peril at all on the other side. Quite the contrary. Secure in the blissful thought that their city had been saved and the attackers thoroughly deterred, the people went back to doing what they normally do. I believe this is referred to as hubris. Proud and tall is the city. Smaller buildings are seldom to be found. The majority of the architecture is comprised of large high-rise and skyscraper-type buildings, each tower surpassing the magnitude of the last. This healthy sense of architectural competition is echoed in the microcosm of the emboldened citizens and their pursuits of ever-growing greatness. If the former bridge to the best city in the Mushroom Kingdom is considered the #1 attraction at Koopa City, then what would be #2? I'm glad you asked. No visitor can possibly pass through the shelled city without taking a gander at the greatest monument to Koopadom the world has ever seen. Constructed in 35 AK by master artist Koopalangelo, Nos ambulavi in quator potest cure ita ut dobos is an 8-block tall statue depicting a nude proto-Koopa man, a close genetic cousin to the modern-day Koopa Troopa. Its title translates to, "We walked on 4 so that we may run on 2." The statue was commissioned by the Koopa Council to commemorate their ability to stand on 2 feet without falling over, and to rub it in the faces of proto-Koopas everywhere. Oh geez, this is what these people consider art? Snap! This one's going in my cringe collection. I don't know, guys, I think it's pretty neat. Smash it! No one will remember who they were. Well, the air quality around here seems to be deteriorating quickly, so how about we move along? But what would you know? We're out of attractions here in Koopa Land. The only thing left to do from here is to take another Continental flight to our next wonderful destination. Bon voyage, and I'll see you on the other side. Dustified another city. Scratch that off our to-do list. Checked! Well, that's all the enemy territory, save for Bowser Land. We diving into the belly of the beast now? Not yet. Bowser can wait. I hear there's another continent beyond the horizon line. Huge concentration of people in a lost city. You mean Monstro Land? Monstro Land? That place went downhill ages ago. It's all overgrown and barely inhabited. No one goes out there anymore. Appearances can be deceiving. I think there's more beneath the surface if we look. Then it's settled. Come on, our Continental flight's waiting. Oh, fortune! As Team Mario was riding the Continental flight to the far-off Monstro Land, a fleet of treasure ships crossed paths with the flight line. Holy ship! Are those money boats? So it is. They must be on their way back to Bowser Land. How do you know they're on their way back to Bowser Land? They're full of money. Whosever it was, it's now his. Cha-ching! And now it's all mine! Toad, wait! It's fine, Mario. We're over international waters right now. Stealing isn't illegal! Luigi, we still have bills to pay back at home, Mario. I'll cover us this month. Mamma mia. Due to the detour in their flight, the gang misses their destination at the western edge of Monstro Land. There, they would have been greeted by the sparkling, pristine waters of Spike Lake. Instead, after robbing the treasure ships blind, they kept an eye out for the nearest warp pipe cloud to get as close as they could to their original destination. And luck was on their side once again, as they found a pipe that landed them just off the coast of Monstro Land. That's the good news. The bad news? The majority of Monstro Land's landmass shoots up to a staggering elevation above the waters below, and the cliffs separating it from the azure tides offer no safety net for those without wings. Sticker Star! Editor's note: Sticker Star is an explicative profanity used in the Mushroom Kingdom. Watch your mouth around the lady, Mario. No, it's alright, Luigi. I think we totally Sticker Starred ourselves. My only regret was running out of room to grab more loot. Not helping, Toad. We were supposed to be turning Spike Lake into an infernal cauldron by now. Look, the shore is just a short swim away. Maybe we can find a way up. Sticker Star, dude, that's a really tall cliff. I ain't no puss, but that seems extreme. Let's investigate. That is what Mario brought us here for, am I right? Right, we're getting up there, one way or another. As mentioned earlier, Monstro Land is a continent far and away from the rest of the Mushroom Kingdom. Once a beacon for prosperity in an age past, the surface of Monstro Land is now covered with ruins and overgrowth. Its primary polis was a prodigious civilization known as Monstro City, where representatives of all races would come together for the shared prosperity of the people. Sadly, there is nothing left of this once great municipality. Modern aerial photography indicates no trace of the fabled city. Nature has taken back her continent. Mario and crew wade to the shores of Monstro Land, wet and slightly salty. In an act of Deus Ex Machina, the group's latest mutation provides them with the gift of flight. Well, that was convenient. To the top! Yippee! With renewed spirit and wings graceful and strong, the gang begins their perilous ascent up the Monstro Land cliffside. As it turns out, the sheer wall of rock was hiding some secrets after all. Strange, boxy protrusions periodically jut out from the cliff face in arrogant defiance of the ground far below them. These are not natural. These are man-made. Relics from the past? Mario investigates one to find it inhabited by a group of Monty moles. Waha! I told you there were people living here. An undocumented colony of moles. Typically sneaky. Yeah, but something tells me this isn't the legendary Monstro City. If there's people living here, there could be even more up on the surface. Last one to the top is a Galoomba! After ascending the wall that never seemed to end, and disrupting the livelihoods of dozens of Monty moles and rocky wrenches, our amateur pilots finally make it up to flat land. And green is the color of the world before them. Untouched by denizens of the Mushroom Kingdom for decades, Monstro Land can be seen as a veritable paradise. The grass and trees and vines grow skyward, unimpeded. The fresh waters are crystal blue and teeming with aquatic life. The mountains stand tall and proud in their quiet dignity. To preserve the natural beauty of this forgotten land, Princess Peach of the Mushroom Kingdom and King Bowser of the Koopa Kingdom signed a rare and historic joint mandate disallowing anyone from setting foot on Monstro Land. Mario must not have heard the news. A short walk inland from the western edge of the plateau, through a dense network of vines and plant life, Mario and friends emerge into a clearing. In front of them is a sparkling sapphire lake, naturally decorated with emerald foliage and goldenrod skies. Extending into each opposite end of the lake is a dock built using pipework that hasn't been seen in the Mushroom Kingdom for a very long time. Peppering the docks are small towers believed to be designed with the purpose of observing aquatic life and housing local fishermen. Spikes? Yeah, I caught a few thorns trudging through those vines too. No, on the dock. I think I see activity. We're getting warm. Warm, yes, but not hot. For there are only a small handful of spikes peacefully conducting their business on the docks. That's it? We climbed the tallest cliff in the world to lay the smackdown on a grand total of 4 spikes? I don't know, Toad. This place is really nice. Maybe we can hang out here for a while. Below the surface, there must be more. With a splash that perturbed the otherwise tranquil lake waters, our heroes dove below to find much more than they were expecting. Beneath the inconspicuous appearance of the lakeside above is a hidden, compact society of underwater spikes. Using the ingenuity that spikes are known for, it appears that the residents have constructed their mega home out of locally grown coral. Its beauty is exquisite, and its craftsmanship is folky, yet fancy. I'll have to add this to the Mushroom Kingdom Tourism Registrar. Bingo! Oh ho ho! I didn't know spikes could live underwater. This place is built like a maze. They can hide, but they can't run. Because they'd be swimming. Luigi! After drying out, and catching a few rays, the crew heads off in the only direction that isn't cliffs or the way they came. Have I mentioned that Monstro Land holds the record for the highest average elevation and the highest elevation above sea level in the whole Mushroom Kingdom? No joke. Well, here we are now at the base of the tallest and coldest mountain in the kingdom, Pokey Peak. Be sure to pack your parkas and non-slip shoes. We're going around. You can go around. I want to go sledding. Guys, is the snow moving in the distance? It's snowing. Yes, it's moving. Sticker star off, Galoomba. I think the snowmen are alive. Ha ha! Looks like we've got snow pokies on the menu. Fighting snow pokies on a tall, icy mountain. What could go wrong? If you need me, I'll be by the fire at base camp. With that, Luigi's hands erupted with flames. It appears the team's latest mutation grants them mastery over fire. Looks like you've got the fire of base camp in your hands now. No more excuses, brother. Mamma mia. The fresh, powdery snow is crunchy to the footsteps, and the chilled air is crisp and dry. Visibility is limited in the snow, but one can make out igloos dotting the frozen plains. Inside these igloos are the snow pokey, a rare variant of the traditional pokey, specially acclimated to the cold temperatures and formidable terrain. One thing that confounds pokey researchers is how the snow variety can often be found in rather confined spaces, considering pokey's size. Unlike traditional pokies, which prefer to range in wide open areas, snow pokies are commonly found dwelling in environments that would otherwise be unaccommodating to their height. It is theorized that snow pokies can actually bend their bodies to slip into passages normally too small or narrow for a straight, rigid pokey. Alas, we may never know. With the igloos emptied, Mario and company make their way to the foot of Pokey Peak. To everyone's chagrin, the face of the mountain is much steeper than it appeared to be from a distance. Not even Mario can jump this one. How am I supposed to go sledding if I can't even get up the mountain? Looks like we're going around after all. Wait, over there. Looks like there's a door. For the first time in our adventure, Mario reads a sign. Chateau Snow? Oh, good. I was looking for a place to take a shat. I hope they have toilet seat warmers. There's probably gonna be a line for the ladies' room. Always is. Wait, isn't the chateau some fancy hoo-ha? Why are we discussing this out here? Let's go in and find out. Through the door at the base of the frozen Alp, the group walks down a long corridor before reaching another door that opens one into the atrium of the chateau. It seems this place is something of an ice hotel. There's snow everywhere in here. Positioned inside the atrium are 3 pipes leading to different floors of the chateau. To the far side of where the group entered is another door leading out to the other side of the mountain. Guess Luigi won't have to walk around after all. On the wall perpendicular to the exits is another door, this one much more ornate and locked tight as a drum. The sign on the door reads, VIPs only. Without a moment of hesitation, Mario immediately goes to open the door, to no avail. Mario, that door says VIP. I don't think we're VIPs around here. Speak for yourself. I'm the most important person these ice worms are ever gonna see. Someone in here must have a key. You guys look for the key. I'm gonna look for a place to squeeze one out. Floor by icy floor, Mario and crew cleared every room of any coins and snow pokies they could find. Toad found a restroom, but the toilet seats weren't heated, so his delicate cheeks got stuck to the porcelain, so he had to use his fire powers to slowly defrost himself into liberation. He didn't flush. Also, I don't know anything about Chateau Snow, so I'm just gonna paraphrase off of this brochure I found in the atrium, if you don't mind. It appears there's a dress code of only wearing white. Good thing our heroes don their flare before entering. Let's see, the pamphlet says the first floor, located above the atrium, is a lavish, ultra-exclusive suite for VIP members only, which we've kind of already been over. But it also mentions that a VIP certificate can be purchased for 6 pink coins. I thought they were red coins. Weird. Moving on. The second floor appears to be dedicated to the economy lodging. It's nice that they have budget options. Imagine being stuck out here in this frozen wasteland and being priced out of a room. Oh, the humanity. But a third floor here is more economy lodging, but because Pokey Peak has a massive hollow crevasse towards its summit, the roof of the third floor acts as a promenade balcony. Lastly, the fourth floor is the penthouse of the chateau, the most expensive room one can afford without a VIP certificate. By the picture in this brochure, it looks like one big chamber, probably for parties and other rich people things. After checking out all the rooms, Team Mario find a roof access point at the top of the penthouse. The roof here is the highest stable plateau before the final ascent. But it looks like the closing climb will be quite a trial. The apex of Pokey Peak does not meet at a single point like most mountains. Instead, the pinnacle bifurcates into 2 spires that each shoot up to dizzying heights. Also worth mentioning is that all of the exposed surfaces have frozen into solid ice at this extreme elevation. Not even fire powers can help dominate this wicked zenith. No. Come on, we've come all this way! No. Holy shat! There's a sick-looking slope up that side! I'm sledding that shat! Have fun. If you're playing as Luigi, then I guess he goes up with them. If not, then he sits this one out. Probably for the best. Luigi would be the one to fall off the mountain. Anyway, Toad was right. Of the spire that they could climb, the peak held in place would appear to be some sort of a ski slope. Whoever built this suicide slide, and for what reason, I have no idea. Toad gleefully goes first, the happiest we've seen him since he was evicting the residents of room 303. Screaming down the slope and soaring through the sharp, frigid air, Toad took a moment to appreciate the stunning beauty of the world he's found himself in. The view is like nothing before seen in the Mushroom Kingdom. He can see beyond Land's End from here. He can see forever. Toad then takes another moment to ponder where exactly his body was going to end up once freefall began. Toad now understands that this element was not properly accounted for before the jump. With all the grace of a huffin' puffin' in heat, Toad manages to stick the landing upon a near frictionless ledge suspended upon the opposing spire high above the chateau roof below. Barely a moment to collect his faculties, Mario and Toadette come barreling his way midair exactly where he's standing. Toad leaps up to the ledge above him, narrowly missing his friends who also have to scramble to juggle their positions without knocking one another down to the white abyss. All clear, the gang cautiously proceeds to climb the second and final spire until they reach the ultimate peak of Pokey Peak. Upon returning to the atrium at the ground floor of Chateau Snow, the team organize their loot, as they do, before heading off to their next destination. Upon doing so, they realize that they've collected enough pink coins to get a VIP certificate. Unfortunately, the attendant behind the counter was fired. So Mario just walked behind the desk and grabbed the VIP key for himself. The rest was a formality. The walk down from the Pokey Peak region was welcomed by all. It was nice to thaw out and not always worry about safe footing. Returning to more temperate elevations, our heroes stride into an endless field of green, complete with hills and dips and flowers and vines everywhere. It's like if the whole world were a utopian garden, untouched by society. Alright Mario, I hate to admit it, but we've been up and down this continent and we still haven't found this legendary Monstro City yet. Maybe call it a wash? We still had a lot of fun here. I suppose. All I see from here is one more house. Where? Oh, I can see it. It's way out there, on the far edge of the continent. Wow, that's like a dot on the horizon. Good eye, Mario. Then it's one for the road, that we split out of here? Let's go. Mario and company begin their pleasant walk through the bejeweled sea of emerald flora. For a rare change in their journey, there seems to be no rush to get to the next destination. Before long, they reach a series of grassy valleys dipping in and out of the ground in semi-uniform waves. This goes on for quite a while. I knew this place looked too good to be true. Now we gotta hop and climb over these weird canyons if we want to get through. Do you guys smell that? Yeah, I do. I already took care of it in the Shat House. Lol, JK, it stinks like Goomba scum. Think it's coming from the mansion? No, it's too pungent. They're close. Guys, look below. The trees are moving and speaking in Koopese. Everyone down there, now! Easily climbing to the bottom of the vine-covered walls of the gully, the crew walks through a small tunnel, the end of which opens into a plaza of what can only be the elusive Monstro City. Sprawling out before our heroes are large buildings, tall towers, and vertical vents, all densely coated in vines and overgrowth. From the ground level of the plaza, it's hard to imagine how anyone ever missed this. But from above, it looks like nothing more than grassy ridges in the earth. In fact, it appears that every society in Monstro Land has been hidden to onlookers above. The mole colonies have concealed themselves in the cliffsides. The Spike civilization was obscured beneath the lake waters. The snow pokies were sheltered within a snow-covered mountain. And the denizens of Monstro City veiled themselves within endless fields of vegetation. It's no wonder everybody thought this place was empty. Is this... could it be? Monstro City. No way! It's actually real? Not gonna lie, brother. I didn't think this place still existed. Faith, brother. It was by divine providence that we find ourselves at the foot of the lost city of Monstro. Okay, we need to be responsible and archive everything here. Try to really remember what everything looked like, because we'll have to go by memory when we're writing the history books. Can't researchers just come back later and do it themselves? Well, legally, no. I'm pretty sure we're not even supposed to be here as it is. Also, it's gonna be a lot harder for the researchers when they're left studying ash and rubble. Oh yeah, I almost forgot we're here to trash the place. Let's make this city lost for good. Monstro City is a dichotomy in its unique feel. Due to space restrictions, the architecture tends to be tall and tightly placed. Slightly claustrophobic, if you ask me. But with all of the greenery and flowers and mushrooms blanketing every square inch of the city, there's an extreme sense of coziness that can't be found anywhere else in the Mushroom Kingdom. Visuals aside, the city folk are all cheerful, peaceful, and kind. They know not war, nor outsiders, nor bigotry. A homogeneous society mixed with races from all corners of the world, the Monstrotes have built themselves a genuine utopia to call their own. And they've done a spectacular job hiding their presence from the peoples without. Well, that is until now. You know why. I think they're starting to lock their doors on us. Awfully rude, if you ask me. You blow up one of their buildings, and now they act like we're the monsters. I think it was technically two so far. I broke open some sort of vent covering a pipe here. Bleeds down. Maybe they've got a secret underground Koopa society hiding beneath our feet. One by one, Team Mario dives down the pipe that leads underground. Hey, I'm not trained to run a tour here. I'm just describing what I'm seeing. Anyway, the foursome now find themselves not in a secret underground Koopa society, but rather the Monstro City sewer system. Glorious. Why is there always a sewer level? Oh. Oh my. Great, we found the city's chateau. It smells like Galoomba times 1000. I think I'm gonna hurl. A lone clump of, unknown matter slides out of a pipe in the ceiling with the sound of a grunting boar and lands in the waters level just below the group's feet with a heavy flopping splash. What would you do if I pushed you in? I'd drag you in with me, you little sticker star! Test me! Guys, I think the fumes are starting to get to us. Let's just figure out what we're supposed to be doing here, then get the hell out before we die of stinky butt gas. After running a repeating serpentine up to the city above and down to the sewers below, the exhausted team finally makes it to the far reaches of Monstro City. They take one last look back to appreciate their handiwork. What a renovation! From a verdant metropolis with birds singing in the air, to a burning wreckage with cacophonous screaming in the background, Team Mario sure went the extra mile for this job. The fires are starting to spread to the crew's position, so back up the wall of the canyon they go. After all, the vines they're climbing likely won't be around much longer. Away from the grassy knolls and on to the next destination, the abandoned Manor. Now, unlike our previous points of interest so far in Monstro Land, the abandoned Manor is the one habitable location whose presence was documented before all of our heroes' recent discoveries. You can't miss it. It's a large mansion out in the open on the northeastern corner of the continent. However, no activity was ever reported being seen there in all the years of observation. The lights are always off, and even the region's fauna have been seen to avoid the area. Could something dark and horrible have happened here a long time ago? Who knows? No, really, I don't think anyone knows much about this place at all. Well, we came to this mansion thinking it might be Monstro City or something. So, what is this place then? Back in the city, someone told me the manor had been abandoned for generations. You took a break to gossip? I had to get the scoop. Squeeze him for information while you got him. Good call, Toadette. Even still, I don't trust a word those vermin say. We're sweeping the manor. If they say it's abandoned, then you know it's probably packed to the rafters with creatures that never see the light of the sun. Ah, dessert so soon after dinner? Call me a glutton, but I am so down. The whistling winds of Fields Prior have faded. In fact, the area around the manor is deathly still. The grass doesn't sway, the wind is gone, and the birds are mute. Something is wrong here, but I can't put my finger on it. I almost hope we don't find out. Heavy are the solid oak doors that grind on old rusted hinges. The front door is unlocked, as if beckoning our heroes into its dusty interior. Once the last enters, the doors mysteriously slam shut on their own. Sticker Star! Those sons of Koopas locked us in here. This isn't good. Mario?
You think I'm trapped in here with you? No! You're trapped in here with me!
With only one direction to go, the gang makes their way down a heavily boarded up hallway leading into the main lobby of the manor. In fact, it appears that just about every available path has been boarded up and/or sealed with brick and mortar. Whatever is trapped here in the manor, somebody clearly didn't want it out. What irony, though. The manor has such a glamorous sense of beauty to it, despite its eerie atmosphere. While there is dirt and cobwebs everywhere, one can't help but to notice the ornate bookcases filled with exotic tomes, the lavish furniture sewn of the finest fabrics, and the detailed ornamentation in the woodwork throughout. One thing's for sure, whoever originally owned this massive manor must have been very wealthy in their time. As I gather it, the mansion is roughly divided into 2 floors containing 7 total chambers, a ground floor lobby, a second floor lobby, as well as an entrance foyer in the front and an exit foyer in the back. I say roughly because I suspect that spatial congruity may somehow be breaking down in this villa. The shapes of the rooms and corridors don't seem to fit together quite right. Judging by the interior exploration, I would imagine that the exterior of the mansion would look very different compared to the neat and symmetrical design we saw coming in. That might explain why the various chambers don't look like livable spaces and why certain sections of the floor are just outright missing. While technically not completely abandoned, it seems that the manor holds fairly true to its name. One may encounter the occasional infestation of creeping piranha plants or a roaming bully or two, but outside of that, the manor is bare. Mario and company scour every room to find the key that unlocks the back door of the manor and leave somewhat disappointed. We ran through that whole rat's nest only to kick out a few dirty squatters. Seems the manor was a bust after all. Told you so! Still, we got what we came here for. I think it's time to move on. Good. This whole estate's been giving me weird vibes. Me too! I think the city folks stayed away from this place for a reason. So what's next, Mario? Are we finally gonna stick it to Bowser? That's the plan. Hate to break it to you, Mario, but there's no Continental flight line on this side of Monstro Land. So you're telling me we're trapped in this desolate wasteland that we can't even be legally saved from? Then what's that warp pipe cloud over there for? It says Continental Skyway. Maybe it's a newer line? Works for me. Let's hope this thing takes us close enough to Bowser Land. As it turns out, Continental Flight and Continental Skyway are 2 completely different entities. Whereas the flight line is a leisurely cruise on a rail-guided platform that gently carries passengers from here to there, the Skyway is a raging roller coaster ride across a series of small platforms suspended in space by tiny clouds. There is no platform to ride on. You run, or you die. Luigi suffers a panic attack during the run, but manages to hold it together. At the end of the precarious track, the group finds another warp pipe cloud with a signature Bowser flag planted on its top. Unsure of what to expect, they all give each other a look of agreement, then enter in. The other side of the warp pipe dropped our heroes onto a lengthy span of asphalt and decorative lights. Just our luck. The Skyway spit us onto the middle of Bowser Highway. As far as I know, this road's the one and only entryway into Bowserland. We can even take it all the way back home when we're done. This strip of blacktop's got nothing on my turnpike, you hear me? Nothing! Without wheels, we'll be playing real-life Frogger out here. I don't see any sidewalks for us. Fortunately, the warp pipe from earlier placed them all right next to a parking garage sidled off of the main highway. There they found a handful of unattended vehicles with keys still in the ignition. From that point on, it was a speedy ride down the stretch of neon-lit road. Before long, the extravagant entrance to Bowserland could be seen. This is where my expertise as a tour guide starts kicking back in. Greeting all visitors to Bowserland is a giant statue of King Koopa's face, complete with a menacing grin, lava pouring out of the mouth, and sparks flying out of the ruby-red eyes. Truly an intimidating sight to behold to newcomers, but also a reminder of the strength and might of the kingdom they approach. Motorists are kindly reminded to carefully drive around the statue on the way into the kingdom. Constant collision repair wastes valuable time for highway maintenance crew as well as taxpayer money. We've made it! After endless arsons, homicides, and a few instances of Grand Theft Auto, Team Mario make it to the first piece of solid ground known as Bowserland. Before their eyes is an eternally sprawling series of buildings, towers, and palaces, with vast stretches of cityscape and generous pools of boiling lava. But only one point of interest in the land will be visited in our tour today: Bowser's Castle. Don't be upset. Those looking for the complete Bowserland tour can speak to our receptionist back in the Mushroom Kingdom to arrange a future expedition. Today, however, we will simply tackle the megalopolis capital of Bowserland and home of its esteemed monarch, King Bowser himself. Allow me to quickly break down the magnitude of the massive estate known as Bowser's Castle. Surrounding the entire perimeter of the grounds is a tremendous defense wall that reaches above the rooftops of Bowser Castle City, but still pales in height to the castle itself. Immediately beyond the front gates of the wall that visitors pass through is the capital borough of Bowser Castle City. One truly feels the power of the Koopa Kingdom upon first setting foot into the Onyx City and witnessing the gigantic castle rising behind it. Yeah, we made it! I don't know how we made it here after all that, but I'm glad we're finally back on track. What did I tell you earlier, brother? You must have faith. The stars will always guide us to where we belong. That's beautiful, Mario. Okay, enough of the mushy stuff. We've got a whole castle to crash. At that moment, a cannonball flies furiously above the group's heads. Think they heard us coming? A fireball whizzes by. Bowser knows damn well why we're here. They're ready. Bowser Castle City sits directly in front of the castle and, as such, mostly houses workers when they are not toiling away in the castle proper. Members from all ranks of the Koopa clan can be found here: Koopas, Hammer Bros, Spinies, Boom Booms, and many more. While all of the most important political decisions are made within the castle's great walls, the abutting city itself is more of a business site rather than an exciting social hub. Still, history buffs will have their hands full with the storied tales of Koopa antiquity. Alert to tourists, keep your wallets and valuables close and try not to look directly into the eyes of any city natives. That said, the lively people of Bowser Castle City are mostly peaceful. There's too many of them. They have cannons everywhere. Hold strong, brother. Glory awaits us. This is a worthy battlefield to share with my brothers in arms. You have my sword. And you have my bombs. And you, my bow. Charge! At the far end of the Obsidian City, as it's called by Bowserlandians, is a gorgeous restoration of the original bridge that led into the throne room of Bowser's first castle. Given new life and new purpose, the bridge, nicknamed the Tongue by locals, now serves as the crossing over the moat of lava from the city to the red metal front doors of Bowser's castle. Why do they call the bridge the Tongue, you ask? Well, that should be obvious to anyone standing at the city side of the span looking towards the castle. Gratuitously adorning the main entrance to the castle is a behemoth statue of King Bowser's face, and the only way into the Capitol building is across the bridge that leads directly into the statue's mouth, behind which can be found the great doors leading inside. In typical Bowser fashion, the imposing statue/entryway has been rigged to expel overwhelming bursts of fire towards oncomers. Rest assured, this feature is normally not activated, but due to current security concerns, the lethal defense mechanism has been turned up to full blast to deter intruders. Mario and company skillfully timed their runs between the pyroclastic waves, blowing chunks of brick off of the statue's face on their way through. All members accounted for, Mario took the nearby replica castle axe and took a single mighty swing that collapsed the entire bridge, returning the relic to the lake of fire below. Hey yo, Mario, that's our only way out of here. Nobody in, nobody out. It's just us and them from here on. Purge the house of filth and make it clean. Wait, you do know another way for us to get out of here, right, Mario? This is it, folks. You're in a real house of royalty. Show of hands, who here has also visited Peach's castle in the Mushroom Kingdom? Oh, that's a lot of you. You're all real professional tourists. Welcome to Bowser's Castle, home of the Royal Koopa clan, seat of the king, and the center of Koopadom worldwide. Please be sure to wipe your feet on the way in and anoint yourself in the supplied chrism by the front doors. Bowser's Castle is every bit as large as you would expect from a kingdom of such plentiful resources. Absolutely dwarfing the already impressive city below, the castle can best be described as multiple castles built on top of each other. Each major section of the building has a different design motif and architectural style, progressing from vintage to modern as one ascends within. Due to the unfathomable scope of the castle's interior, we will be dividing up this portion of the tour into 3 sections. The first section begins as soon as one enters Bowser's Castle, as visitors are greeted by a great hall given a dash of accent from a large crimson carpet at the center. Leading up from the ground level is a glamorous staircase offering passage to both the basement as well as to the secondary Great Hall in the rear. Yes, there are 2 Great Halls. No expense was spared in the build of the castle. There's also normally a lift leading to a door to the upper chambers, but the lift appears to have been temporarily removed. Likely more security concerns. The secondary Great Hall is an exact mirror replica of the primary hall, so not much explanation is necessary. Team Mario is quickly hailed by a trio of Magic Koopas after neglecting to wipe their feet on the doormat. An altercation ensues, but our heroes are ultimately allowed progress. Within the 2 upper chambers above the halls and the 2 lower chambers in the basements below can be found a Koopaling in each, specifically Iggy, Larry, Lemmy, and Morton Koopa Jr. When not busy doing their daily duties, the Koopalings are generally considered to be quite cordial to talk to. For best results, avoid topics surrounding their parentage. That said, Lemmy was quoted as shouting, quote, "Suck my balls" to the gang during their meeting. Lemmy could not be reached for a comment on the vulgarity. Koopalings dispatched, Mario and crew make their way beyond the secondary Great Hall and enter an attached tower which they must climb to reach the chamber leading to the second major section of Bowser's Castle. Guarding the only door forward and positioned on another lava bridge is once more the Magic Koopa trio from before, this time juiced up with some serious Mega Mushroom sauce. Not to be dissuaded by the wizard's girth, Mario and gang valiantly break through the enemy formation. Once all on the other side, Mario again takes a nearby replica castle axe and severs the ties holding the lava bridge high above a pit leading down to the basement boils below. That's half of the Koopalings. The rest must be holed up deeper. You keep cutting off our paths back out of here, Mario. What gives? Bowser can summon his entire army from far and wide to flood this castle right now. We're not giving him a chance to catch up. We can take him. No, I agree with Mario. Let's use this time to take a break. No time to rest, Louie. If they're not coming at us from the back, they'll definitely be coming at us from the front. We now enter the second major section in our tour of Bowser's Castle. This upper floor is generally considered off-limits to tourists when business is being conducted, but since the door was unlocked, I think it's okay we go in. There's a lot of lava in this region. It's considered decorative, but I think it's just plain inconvenient. To each their own. Emerging from said indoor caldera is Wendy O. Koopa's towering chamber, also housing the bodyguards she always keeps by her side. Further down the stretch of stone and magma can be found Ludwig von Koopa's miniature fortress, said to be impenetrable to those entering alone. Finally, at the far end of this castle's section is a pipe that leads to Roy Koopa's personal training arena. Another vertical shaft adjoins this region that leads up to Bowser Jr.'s room, which also serves as passage to the castle's keep. On a quest to be Bowser's best guardian, Jr. built a large machine attached to the ceiling that allows him to barrage anyone foolish enough to try to cross the lava bridge below him. And he really outdid himself this time. The compact war machine is completely impervious to Team Mario's attacks. It's no use! He's got that thing sealed up tight! Get the sticker star out of my dad's castle! Never, you little Galoomba! Sticker star you, Mario! It was funny and you know it! Mario, I can't keep getting pelted with cannonballs. We need to shut this thing down. Beneath the bridge, looks like a control panel. We won't make the jump. There must be another way around. Another way around there was. The gang managed to break a path under the bridge, gaining them access to the hazardously placed control panel. Once the switch was flipped, Bowser Jr.'s machine was busted and not coming back online anytime soon. Without his battle armor to protect him, Jr. had to take the battle upon his own merit. An image of his father's combat prowess, Bowser Jr. put up a respectable fight, but in the end, could not overcome his 4 opponents. Okay, before we make any hasty decisions, Mario takes the conveniently placed replica castle axe and plummets the lava bridge they now find themselves on the other side of. Mario, I was just about to tell you to hold off on that. I'm really getting worried we're not going to be able to make it out of here without these bridges. Yeah, Mario, I don't know of any other way out of here. This feels like a one-way road. Mario avoids eye contact with his concerned compatriots. Mario? There may not be a return trip. What? One of my informants told me the castle's got a secret on-site warhead embedded somewhere in the case of extreme emergencies. Mario... I don't know if we'll even find it, provided it exists. For now, we focus on Bowser. His keep is beyond this door. You can tell because it's big and red! It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. After tearing through room after room within the ever-spiraling flaming fortress, Mario and team eventually make their way up to the castle keep. This top-floor inner sanctum is Bowser's personal stomping grounds and, as such, is completely forbidden to outsiders. Only the king's most loyal attendants are permitted in this royal rectory. The gang secures their hats and brushes off their shoes in preparation of the final stretch. Sadly, not much is known about the layout of the keep, as Bowser is known to remodel it constantly. Currently, though, it appears that the main chamber is a wide, open space with the floor entirely replaced by lava. Shocker, I know. The only way across is for our crew to hop along the small towers sticking out of the infernal lake. Of course, each tower is loaded with a Mecha Koopa for good measure. In fact, all of the Mecha Koopa units in the castle have been upgraded to the new and improved Blasta and Zappa models, providing extra firepower against intruders. Team Mario manages to bypass the whirlwind of bullets, laser beams, spikes, fireballs, and moving platforms littering the main chamber. Along the way, they find a key that allows them further progression to Bowser's Infernal Arena. This is normally where King Koopa would do battle with the Mario Bros, but today he sent his top advisor and confidant, Kamek, to dispatch the invaders in his stead. between the pervasive dangers of the arena and the magic bolts from Magic Koopa's demented wand, Kamek puts forth quite the opposition to our heroes. Not enough, however. Kamek is felled, and relinquished is the last key needed to reach Bowser's throne room. Of course, the highest hall in all of Bowserland would not be complete without a grand penultimate staircase leading up to the doors of destiny. Raging fireballs fly past the crew as they make their way up the treads. He's near. Hesitating only long enough for the group to regain composure, Mario throws open the spike-studded door to the throne room. The regal chamber is beautifully adorned with stone columns along the walls and a blood-red carpet leading from the door, across the floor, up a few steps, and ending at the foot of the throne, where King Bowser himself is seated. Intense jets of gaseous fire rise from small grates in the exposed portions of the floor around the throne, creating a terrifying image of Koopa surrounded by plumes of flames.
Koopa! Do you mushheads know just how much your little rampage has cost me here?
And the debt's still not cleared.
It was a sticker-starring joke, Mario.
Too far. You've gone too far this time. Bowser reaches behind himself to reveal a super mushroom in his hand.
You want payback? Round up your little Galoomba friends and meet me on the roof.
At that moment, the entire throne rises out of the ground towards a hole in the ceiling above, with King Koopa still seated the whole time. Mario runs towards the ascending throne, but it's too late to stop what is happening. Bowser and seat out of sight, the column ceases rising with a deep thud. Laughter and roars can be heard bellowing from the space above. Sticker Star! Take it easy, Mario. Don't let him get in your head. Yeah, Mario, we got your back. It's 4 against 1. We can't lose. Thanks, guys. I just can't stand how that spiky bastard treats this all like a game. All right, everyone. Make sure you're all stocked up on 1-ups and super shrooms. We may not win this without power-ups. Right! I guess this pipe over here leads up to the roof. Let's go, Team Mario! It may not be Pokey Peak, but it's certainly up there. From the roof of the castle, one can see the entirety of Bowserland in all its neon scarlet glory. Right now, though, far-sighted visibility is quite limited, as a massive lightning storm is raging in the darkened heavens that the group now finds themselves in. The wind is vicious, the rain oppressive, the lightning blinding, and the thunder like the cry of an enraged god. Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Toadette emerge from the pipe on the far edge of the roof, above the front-facing side of the castle. Standing before them, in the middle of the battlefield, is Bowser, drenched in rain and still clutching the super mushroom from before. The throne must have went away or something. It's-a me, Mario!
Yeah, I already knew that.
It's a Luigi time.
Who are you?
Bop!
Oh, you're all gonna say something, aren't you?
I don't have a catchphrase!
Okay, I'm just gonna get the show on the road.
Clenching his hand shut, the super mushroom disappeared in a glow of light, and a freshly enchanted Bowser grows to at least twice his already imposing size. With a roar that could be heard all the way from Space Zone, the final battle had begun. Cannonball turrets were firing in every direction. Bowser was breathing fire anywhere our heroes stood, and the king's gargantuan size made navigation treacherous, to say the least. It's no use! He's impenetrable!
Oh, not so tough now! You're all just a bunch of paper tigers!
Mario, what do we do? We're in a bad spot. A warrior's death is rewarded by an eternity in the over there! Yeah! With the mightiest leap ever seen conjured by any Toad, our blue hero masterfully trick-jumped from one cannonball to another, landing high upon the narrow defense tower which housed the cannons, as well as an inaccessible Koopa clown car, likely intended for emergency escapes. Toad! Bowser's attention still focused on the remaining trio, Toad takes the opportunity to once again vault higher yet into the sky and performs a furious high-altitude ground pound directly toward Koopa's skull. For Princess Toadstool! For the Mushroom Kingdom! Direct hit. Damage report? Null. Bowser's divine endowment has indeed made him impervious to any physical attacks made on his body. What a twist of fate that the group's latest mutation couldn't have been more potent. After bouncing off Bowser's dome, Toad pratfalls to the ground at the Koopa King's feet. Without a moment to recover, Bowser ferociously stomps on Toad, completely encompassing his whole body and smashing through floor tiles on the roof in the process. Ah! Bowser takes a step back, revealing a crushed, but alive, Toad. I still have one hit left. Toad retreats back to the group, albeit smaller than before. This is it. We're gonna game over. Mario, we have to end this! Mario takes a look at the crater in the floor where Toad's body was once pressed into. I've got an idea. It's an old trick, but it just might work. Everyone, get Bowser to stomp around and break the floor around us. He can't sustain a pitfall. Can we? Down with the king! With redoubled tenacity, Team Mario scatter and juke to entice Bowser to smash any stonework around him in his reckless rage. Layer by layer, the tiles crumble and the floor begins to crack and slump beneath the weight of the battling legends. Bowser, unaware of the budding situation, takes a forceful pounce into the air and, nearly pulverizing Luigi, comes down with the force of a sledge in freefall. There was a mighty crack, then silence. With a low rumble, the roof began to cave in, and bringing down with it the heft of Bowser's oversized body. Luigi barely jumps out of the falling debris before he's sucked into the gravity well along with the Koopa King. A tremendous thud resonates through every brick as Bowser confirms his sudden landing. Remaining one step ahead of the floor giving way, Team Mario reach the far side of the roof, opposite where they entered earlier, which is crumbling as I speak. A pipe leading back down into the castle is locked out of reach. GG. Looking for this? Luigi produces a key from his overalls. I swiped it off Bowser when he took the dive. Stable floor quickly fading, the four heroes enter the pipe with all due urgency. Its other end ejects the team into a small chamber located directly behind Koopa's throne room. To one side is a Bowser-sized door leading who knows where. To the other is another classic replica castle axe and a lava bridge suspending a ridiculous amount of explosives over a shaft that leads all the way down to the castle's magma core. Are we in some sort of panic room or something? This is it. The big red button. Looks like your informant was right on the nose. Better be. I paid him enough. Mario, if we cut that rope, that's it for all of us. But I think we've done enough here. Koopa got the message, the whole world got the message. We even discovered a long-lost civilization. Mario cuts the rope. Zation. With the lava bridge gone slack, the excessive megaton payload of POWs and bob-ombs plummets far, far down to the infernal depths beyond depths. Bowser can be heard scratching and screaming on the other side of the wall. He knows what they've done. From the purr of a kitten to the grumbling of a volcano in heat, the foundations of the castle had begun their dissolution into liquid rock. Stress fractures bolt across every block attached to the infrastructure like lightning shattering the sky. It is done. I'd love to savor our victory, but maybe we should at least try to see if there's a way out from here. Let's start with the door behind us. Upon the gang turning around, the aforementioned door was already wide open, and Luigi was nothing more than a dust cloud. Well, it seems our heroes have found themselves in quite a pickle here. The entirety of the Bowser Castle complex is currently experiencing a literal breakdown, castle and city alike. Lava is now breaching out of the few floors that weren't already pools of lava. Dislodged blocks from the tallest towers are crashing down to the ground at meteoric speeds. A dire quake of magnitude the likes of which has never been felt before echoes to every corner of Bowserland, causing even the ocean tides to stir into an uproar. This is the apocalypse, and our four courageous heroes find themselves trapped in the upper lofts of Bowser's castle with zero exit strategy. Run, run, run! Don't gotta tell me twice! The gang run for their lives down the crumbling hallways behind Bowser's throne room. Ceilings are caving down to the floor, and the corridors are filling with piles of wreckage. Warp pipes down to lower floors are broken and toppled out of place. All the while, the castle keeps violently shaking as its form gives way. After descending a few floors, navigating through all of the newly created obstacles, the group comes to a lone door at the end of a dead-end hallway. The other side leads them to the castle's exterior on Bowser's lofty garden balcony. Assuredly, this veranda is a scenic and peaceful retreat for those looking for a moment of respite. Right now, however, it's perhaps the last place our heroes wanted to find themselves. This was just the path to the balcony? We barely made any progress. We're not gonna make it. Heh. End of the line after all. We can jump that tower out there. Follow me. In a last-ditch daredevil feat, Mario and company run straight off of the garden balcony and bound to the top of the nearest tower. Footing is poor as roof tiles are sliding out of place, but the crew sticks the landing thanks to their latest mutation. No time to catch their breath though. They proceed from tower to tower, climbing down when possible and availing themselves to the freshly exposed openings, offering them impromptu passages through the disaster space. Rocks raining from the sky and chunks of upper infrastructure screaming towards the earth below, Team Mario makes it to what is more or less ground level. I say more or less because there's really not much ground left by now. Most of the roads and sidewalks have deteriorated into a deathly scalding lock. Using whatever surfaces that are still available, the crew desperately claw their way to the furthest reaches of the Bowser Castle complex. In the final stretch, they hop their way over a series of half-submerged broken warp pipes to reach the first piece of solid ground they've seen since they were in the throne room. And with that, Team Mario has reached the mostly toppled great border wall surrounding Bowser Castle City. Escape! Yeah! We did it! You can't stop Team Mario! I can't believe we're still alive. Like I said, brother, you must have faith. The weary crew take one last look behind them as the remaining hunk of Bowser's castle implodes in upon itself. Sparks and lava shoot off in all directions like a devil's fireworks show. The incredible waves of heat from the eruption is too much for our heroes to bear. I've been in volcanoes before and I've never felt this kind of heat. I think we've overstayed our welcome here. Let's move to where the trees aren't on fire. Agreed. I'm gonna melt if we stand here any longer. Let's make our way back to the highway. We've got a long ride home ahead of us. Navigating away from the citywide inferno and routing around all of the fallen debris, the crew arrive at the mouth of Bowser Highway. There, they rummage through another parking garage and happen to find 4 unattended vehicles because of plot reasons. Revved up and ready to go, Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Toadette take to the sunset-draped strip of asphalt that extends across the ocean, beyond the horizon line, all the way back to the Mushroom Kingdom. It's going to be a long ride, like Mario said, but at least the traffic should be light. As the exhausted heroes leisurely drive down the endless expanse of highway with only the sound of wind in their ears, they each ponder the adventure they had just endured. Toadette's head is swirling in excitement for all of the new discoveries made in Monstro Land. Toad has a permanent smile glued to his face, reminiscing of all of the lives he extinguished. Luigi just realized that he may have forgotten to turn off the oven before joining Mario's crusade. And Mario, satisfied in the accomplishment of a job well done, recalls how the 4 of them got into this whole mess in the first place. It all started with a letter from Princess Peach. Over already? I know. Once you get invested in sightseeing, it's hard to stop. But like all good things, this tour, too, must come to an end. I certainly hope you enjoyed our journey. We were able to see Goomba Land, Koopa Land, Monstro Land, and Bowser Land on a 3-continent tour package. You can't find that sort of a deal anywhere else in the Mushroom Kingdom. But once again, my name is Lord Coucha, and I'm proud to have served as your esteemed tour guide and occasional narrator in our travels. I hope you all have a safe ride home, and I hope to be seeing you all again soon. Bye!